Hey everyone, so today I'm gonna show you the midterm Spring Boot applications. So I already pushed the projects on the GitHub where you can find instruction how to install the applications on your computers. Okay, it's also this README files is already contains software development principles, patterns, and also guides applies to the applications. Right, the second section that would be code structure, how do we structure the codes, and it's also folders, files, right? Um, so as other commands, string boot application, we gotta follow the MVC's pattern, which means that we're gonna have the controllers, entities. Yeah, this is for the app configurations, including the securities and Swagger, the open API, right? Entity services, right? Yeah. So we're gonna start the applications processes in this files. Okay, so I already wrote some sort of the definitions of this folder. Okay, step 3. So in order to run the applications locally, we gotta follow these requirements. So you're gonna make sure that you are using the JDK 17 in order to run the app, right? And also the Rails version should be around 7 or 8. Okay. Next one, which is a very essential, that you can make sure that my SQL server is running as a background. Okay. After that, you can follow these steps. First, we need to clone the repository from the GitHub, right? Using this patch command. But make sure that you don't include password because it doesn't matter. We paste into the terminals. Okay. Here, ensure your MySQL server is running. Okay. You can try to create a new database and name it as string commerce because in the application process here, you're gonna have to configure all the sections down here. Um, which is this one, database configurations. Yeah, I already specified the database names for these applications, okay? And I also specify properties to create a database if it doesn't exist in the the server. Okay. All right. This the last configurations is optional. You don't want to log anything in the terminal consoles. You can remove these ones. If you want to log some comments in the terminal, you can specify these 2 lines of code. So it's gonna run its remote securities in debug mode and also same as the string converts applications. Okay. It also um I also include the instruction how do we run abuse and run the applications on Linux, Mac OS, and same as Windows. Okay, and yeah, and also I integrate Swagger to the applications. Go to this URL in order to show to see the Swagger interface. Okay, and the fourth sections, this is going to be about Postman testing environments. And you can follow these commands in order to send a testing request to the server, to the applications, but don't include the patch. Okay, as I said earlier, that the patch doesn't matter in these commands. So we just need to copy from the curve and all the way down to the end. Okay, you can click on this button in order to uh, copy the command faster. Okay. But don't worry, if you don't want to copy all of them, all of these commands, you can go down here, go to the end of the documents, where you can find the accessible Postman testing API. So once you click on this URL, it will redirect you to the Postman application that shows the corrections in there. Furthermore, I haven't tried this one, so I don't currently that's it would open the corrections in the Postman applications, but you can try it out. Okay, and then go back to the feature here. So, as I said earlier, in these README files, that I would have the configurations folder, controllers, TDTU, entity folders. exceptions where we handle all the exceptions in the applications, right? It's pretty in for database interactions, services, and also the YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna show I already wrote some Postman's testing requests here. Okay, so the first ones, let me go to the controllers to see where how what are the features that I have in the applications. So in the all authentications controller, I have two types of requests: the logins and the register. Okay, so I'm gonna send the register. This is my create a new account. Let's see, John or something. Username would be John's. John 1110. Johnson. Johnny Wing. Okay, this is Johnny Samuels. And I'm gonna leave this phone and address by default. Send it here. So I already have 24 users. They are just assembled in the database that I have created. So as you see here, we have created a new user in the database, and we're gonna make sure that we have that kind of user in the database by using my SQL command lines here. Use string commerce. All right, select all from user. Semicolons. There we go. So the final one would be John, right? Verifies. Okay. So, uh, so gonna make sure that you remember the password. So I'm gonna log into the systems here using that account. John, right? John would be the usernames and Johnny or John. John's 1110. That would be password. So as you know that the password has been encoded to using pcrypt, right? So it becomes a random strings like that. Jones. Now, so once we are logged into the system successfully, it's going to return back tokens. This is the JWT tokens. Okay, gonna copy it and just copy it for now. Okay, next one is the product. What about the user? Let's try to get the user information using these requests. So gonna have get mapping me, also put mapping of me to update the user information. All right. Okay. So but I haven't wrote those commands here, so let's just skip it for now. Or you can create a new one and send it to localhost here, logging, but not going to log, because me instead. It should be API user, user means, and how do we get the informations? We have to reauthorize is authenticate, which means that we need to give it a JWT tokens. So I'm gonna select the period token here, and so I already copied the JWT code token, so I'm gonna paste it here and send it here. I got the usual information according to the token that we have pasted here. Cool. So let's come to the next one, the product controller. What are the features that we have? We can get all the products here, and we can get a specific product using the ID. We can also create a new ones. So the user had to need to have a browse admin in order to receive this request. Right, same as here in order to update the product informations. Okay, and delete the products from the database. Sure, gonna go to the get products here, and it's saying that no authentications, which means that we don't need to use the JWT tokens in order to get all products. So just send the request, and we can get all the products from ID 1 all the way down to 20. 5. So in total, we have 25 products. Okay, what about the product filterings? Like also same as the getting the products, it doesn't have to specifies. It doesn't have to be specifies the JWT tokens. So we just need to give it a query params in order to filter the products. Yeah, so I'm filtering the product according to the categories electronics, and the max price have to be 500, which means it's going to get uh, the price those items as having the prices under the $500, I guess. Yeah, and I got 5 items. Okay, get by product IDs. You can put the product ID here. Let's try to put 1. And we don't have to specify any authentications here in order to get uh, a product information. So this is the information of the first product. Laptop Pro 15 and high performance laptop for professionals. Its price is over 1,000, nearly 1,500 dollars. Okay, what about creating the products? Um, let's let's just use the JWT tokens from the normal user. So I'm gonna paste the PR tokens here, paste it, and let's try to create a new one using this command. So I'm gonna create a Postman's file 6 or something. It's going to change its price, these ones, and send it. It's going to say that fire internal server errors, and yeah, I should fix this and make the message more clear to the user. So okay, so what are the admin that we have? Okay, we have the addies. The first account would be the admin of the systems. So I'm gonna use this ones, but I don't remember the password. So let's try to log in using the admins. Uh, okay, so this account have the password of this account haven't been encoded to the system. So when we try to log into this accounts, the password will be decoded once again, and it becomes another password, and it will be mismatched to the original one. So it will return like wrong password or something. But I don't really remember the password for this one because okay, I think this is its way attempts. Let me just show you the code where we implement that one. Where is it? Create products. So let's go to the products service. Product service elements implementations. Future products, create products here. So it's very simple. It just map the product details to the actual product in the systems, and it gets its code the product repository and save that products. Later on, it's going to map that kind of product back to the DTO one, and yeah, it would send it back to the controller, and the code controller would send it back to the user. Here, create products. So we are getting the products from the product service, and we returning a respond entities with containing create products with entity sets created. Okay, it's very simple for creating products. What about update products? Same as update products here. Okay, and to make sure the user sending the request has the roles admins, the admin roles, in order to proceed to the service. So let's go back to the product service where we update products. So it's very simple again. We need to specify the area of that kind of products, and also what are the feature that we want to change, right? And yep, So we're gonna find that kind of product in this database. Okay. If we don't, if that kind of product is not found in the database, it's going to throw an error result not found exceptions here. Right? Otherwise, it would set these new values to that kind of product, and it's gonna save again. Using this command is not going to create a new one. It's not going to create a new product. It's going to go back, looking back to the database and search for that product and yeah, update the new value for it. So that's a cool thing about JVAs. Right? Then we just need to map the actual products, which is the entity back to the DTO and give it back to the controller. Okay, that's very simple. What about deleting the products by ID? So, and same as this operation that we need to, the user has to be the admins in order to route it to the service, right? Okay, how do we delete the products? Okay, so it's very simple again. We just send the ID of that product, right? We need to make sure that the product is in the database, otherwise it will throw in case it's once, otherwise it would throw a new exception, which is a resort not found. Okay. Uh, if that kind of product is just in the database, it's going to delete by ID. This so we are using the GBA command in order to uh, delete the product from the database. It's very simple, and it doesn't return anything because it is a voice. And let's go back to product and here. So we are deleting products. It's going to return a response entities of the void, which means that we don't have any contents in that response. Right. Next one, get user cards. Authentication required, which means that we need to have a tokens, JWT tokens here in order to get uh, user card. Right. So just change to build tokens and I will paste it here. Send it. Well, I think that we haven't had any cards in the system yet. So let's try to add an item to the cards. Okay, I'm gonna add product files, quantity trees to the card with a bearer token to specify which kind of user that we are trying to add an item to that to their card. So I'm gonna add to the join cards here. So this is a join card that's containing a card item 26, and that kind of card items is containing the product which having the ID files, right? And with the quantities 3. Subtotals is over 597 bucks. Yeah, it will result in the total amount in the orders, which is over 500 bucks. Okay, what about updated card item quantity? So we have added items. Let's say this is ID 26. So we're going to update the quantity of that card items and ID which is fine, and bodies updates to 10, right? And also our authentications required, which means that we need to put the tokens, bearer tokens here. Boom, send it. Oh, card items, it shouldn't be set 25, right? Come to the cards. This is 26. Should be 26. Yeah, there we go. And we got the card item 26 with the product files, and the quantity should be 10s, right? Remove an items from a card. So I'm gonna remove the item's ID, which is 26, which is the card items from the card. So we also need the parent tokens here. Paste this here. Boom. Now the items in the order is empty. Okay, clear the entire card. So let's just add it again. Set it. Okay, so it's have it added to the set place, which with the ID 27. So I'm gonna remove the entire card using this command. and also the authentication is required. Bearer tokens, set it. Yet no content. We should return a response message here that's saying that remove the card items, remove system limits, or clear the items, clear the card system limits, or something. Okay, auto checkout. So let's just add an item again. Add it again and have you add a new card item in with the ID trace 8. Okay, so I'm gonna check out this order and I'm gonna specify name Johnny. Okay, this is Johnny Istanbul, which is the emails. I'm gonna leave the customer forms the same as the original ones, same as the account joint. Okay, authentications, gonna have the bearer token as well. Set it. Oh, can't create bad reflect because I suppose that we have sent it the wrong JWT tokens. So let me just go back to here and copy the token again. Our checkout. I just here, send it. There we go. So our question is, yeah, so this is the order information, including the customer informations, the ID of that order, also the total amount, which is of over 500 bucks, and this is the status. So the status needs the admin to change it. Okay, so it will include this item inside the list. This is also okay. We have product files with the quantity 3. Cool. All right. Gonna get the orders by the user have been have been placed by the user using the period tokens as well. That my orders. So we are having just one order for John, right? Get order by ID. What is the ID of that order? 25. So we're gonna get the information of that for specific order using their IDs, 25. And yeah, 401 unauthorized because we haven't specified the period tokens. So let's just paste it here, send it. There we go, got the information. Okay, get all the orders. This is get all the orders by the admin. So as long as we have the admin account, we can get all the orders placed by our users in the system. We can update the order status with the admin accounts. We can get the user referrals, me, right? Using the authentications, using the period token as well. So I'm gonna replace pages here, and we got the user information, which is our John accounts. We can update the user profiles using the same URLs with put actions. All right, and we also need to specify the bearer tokens here. And so I'm gonna change the username part to Postman tester updated. Okay, there we go. So now the username is John. Name Postman. Can we change the usernames? Let me try it. Let me change the username to another one, which is a number. Send it. So unfortunately that we couldn't change the username of that account. We can only change the name uh, of that user and also the email, phone address, social information. And yeah, so I think that's all the feature that we have in the applications. Okay. Yeah. So a question is how long will use my JWT token will last? So the questions that's yeah. So how long will the JWT token last? So it will last until you log in again. Okay. So once you log into that account again, it will generate a new tokens, and the old token will be expired. And how did I create the JWT tokens? So inside the project, I had defined a token service and also a YouTube folder that containing the RSA algorithms. Okay, we have key generators here. So I'm using the key pair generator from the Java security. So by default, right? So I'm using the RSA algorithm in order to generate a key pair with the size which 2048. This class regenerates a pair of keys, including public and private one. Okay, so I'm gonna use another class to hold those informations. Let's just go back to the user service here. Inside the token service, I'm gonna define the encoder and the decoder coming from the strings the security configurations. So I'm gonna have in this inside this service, it's gonna have a generate tokens method, right? And we are reading the clams. After that, we need to encode that clams and it will generate random strings, right? So go back to the user service implementations here, where we log into to the to the account. This one. So once we already got the authentication manager, the authentication information containing username and the password, we can pass that off to the token service dot generate tokens here in order to get the strings, which is the tokens. After that, we tell it to attach the token to the auth of response video. And I'm using scope. Let's go into the security configurations where I'm using the OAuth 2 resource server in order to like handle the JWTs. So it's going to grant access to the users as long as there is a valid JWT tokens when we send those requests that had to be authenticated up here. So if we specify URLs, a path permitting to all friends, which means that those URL doesn't need to have the doesn't need to be attached to the JWT tokens in the request header. Um, but those is having authenticated here. Those requests need to be attached to JWT tokens in the headers of the request. Yeah, in order to receive to the system. Okay, and for JWT decoder and encoder, I'm using the Nimbus. Yeah. All right, so I think that's all the features that I can tell in these applications. And yeah, once again, that you can find the instructions how can we how do we install the application and runs locally on your computers. Okay, and you're gonna make sure that you configure for the application properties correctly, like this ones. There are some properties that are customized. Yeah, the string application name, you can choose any name that you want. Also the server port, that would be the running part of the applications. This is one very needed. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all the feature that I want to tell since for this applications. And okay, I hope you enjoyed and thanks for listening.